Alright, so guys, this video alone will be enough to help you with your similarity assignment. There are going to be two parts to it. There's going to be determining similarity, which is the first half of your assignment, and finding missing sides for similar shapes, which is your second part. Alright, so if you already know how to do the first one, you could just skip to the second one, whatever. Let's get started. So determining similarity, you just have to find the scale factor. The scale factor is basically the number that is being multiplied in order for one shape to become the other. So for example, number 1, if you look at it, 3 corresponds with the 12, 1 corresponds with the 4, 2 corresponds with the 8, but we're going to see if this is actually similar. So if you do 12 divided by 3, you do get 4. So if this was similar, you should be getting 4 for all corresponding sides. So we just did 12 and 3. Let's do 8 and 2. So if we did 8 divided by 2, we also get 4. And if we did 4 divided by 1, we also get 4. So the scale factor for this one is 4. So it does get bigger. So from going from this triangle to this triangle, scale factor is 4. You're multiplying by 4. That's what the scale factor is. These are similar. So let's try it with the second example. All right, the second example, again, you can kind of tell that the 2 corresponds with the 5, and these 5s correspond with the 13. So let's try it to see if there's a scale factor. If you do 5 divided by 2, you get 2.5, okay? But if you do 13 divided by 5, you do not get 2.5. And if you do 17 divided by 7, you also do not get 2.5. Since the scale factor is not the same for each corresponding pair of sides, these shapes are not similar. All right? So if you get the same scale factor, they're similar. If you do not get the same scale factor, they are not similar. Okay? So you just have to divide the corresponding sides. All right. So now let's find missing sides of similar shapes. So it's already stated that these two are similar. As you can see in your assignment, it also states that. All right, in order to find missing sides like x and y, you need to make proportions like you did in the previous assignment. All right, so there's actually a few different ways you can go about it, but I'll show you the easiest way. So the two corresponding sides that have numbers are 8 and 20. These have numbers. The other ones, you're dealing with the x and the y, so you're definitely going to be using 8 over 20 to start. All right, now you just decide which one you want to solve for first. I'm going to solve for x first. Why not? So if I did 8 over 20, the next fraction is going to have to be x over 30. Okay, so x over 30. And that is how you're going to set up your proportion to solve for x. Now, all you do is cross multiply. 20 times x, you get 20x. 8 times 30, you get 240. And if you divide by 20, you get x equals 12. All right? So if we want to find y, again, you're going to have to use 8 and 20 again. And this time we're going to be finding y. So if you did 8 over 20, then it would be 5 over y. And again, you're just going to cross multiply. So 8 times y, just 8y. 20 times 5, you get 100. And then y, if you divide by 8, you get like, what is that? I don't even know. It's 80, 16, that's 12.5. Yeah, I think it's 12.5. All right. So to find missing sides, when you're dealing with similar shapes, you make proportions and you solve. All right. Sometimes, so for this one, it wasn't that obvious, but sometimes it's actually pretty obvious that you don't even need to make proportions. Like for example here, if you look at these two similar shapes, I noticed that in order for 7 to turn into 35, you can just multiply by 5. All right, so if you want, you could still do the proportions, but I knew 7 times 5 was 35, so I know the scale factor is 5. So in order to find f, you just multiply by 5. So 5 times 5, f ends up being 25. If you want to